In the vibrant but politically charged landscape of Senegal, a storm is quietly brewing, one that could shake the very foundation of the country's new leadership. Just months after the historic election that brought Bassirou Diomaye Faye to power, cracks are beginning to show in what was once hailed as an unshakable alliance between the president and his outspoken prime minister, Ousmane Sonko. Despite the president's repeated attempts to calm the waters with reassurances and diplomatic gestures, the tensions at the heart of the Senegalese executive are becoming too glaring to ignore. At the heart of the matter lies a growing sentiment among Sonko's supporters that the president has not only distanced himself from the man who made his presidency possible, but has also failed to offer the protection and political space Sonko needs to fully lead. In many corners of Senegal's media and online platforms, voices are rising, accusing Bassirou Diomaye Faye of political amnesia, of forgetting that without Sonko's relentless fight, fiery charisma, and imprisonment-turned heroism, the path to the presidency might have never been opened for him. Social media has become a battlefield, with Sonko's loyalists making their frustrations loudly known. They don't mince words. Faye owes everything to Sonko, say many, and they're not just speaking metaphorically. To them, Sonko isn't merely the prime minister, he's the movement, the face of the resistance, the fire that lit the way for a new Senegal. To watch him now, appearing isolated and undercut, feels like betrayal. The president, for his part, is not responding with confrontation. In fact, he's been doing the opposite, striking a conciliatory tone, telling the public and the media that he still considers Ousmane Sonko to be a friend. But even those warm words haven't been enough to douse the growing fire of doubt, especially after Sonko's own recent speech, where he appeared to break ranks with the head of state in a very public and unapologetic manner. That moment came on July 10th, when Prime Minister Sonko, speaking with his characteristic clarity and defiance, told the nation that Senegal suffers from one major problem, a lack of authority. But what was more telling, and more damaging, was that he didn't stop there. Sonko openly declared that there is an absence of authority, going as far as implying that even he, as prime minister, does not possess the tools or backing to govern effectively. The implication was impossible to ignore. For the first time, the man often seen as the power behind the throne appeared to suggest that the throne itself was not supporting him. It was a startling moment, especially for a movement that had promised a united, youth-driven revolutionary front, an alliance that would stand against corruption, neo-colonialism, and the old political order. Adding fuel to the fire, Sonko also spoke of feeling abandoned by the president, especially during periods of intense personal attacks from detractors and political opponents. For a man who endured arrest, imprisonment, and defamation during Senegal's turbulent political transition, being left alone in the face of such onslaught feels like a deeply personal wound. Many analysts now believe that what once looked like a formidable political duo might be inching closer to a very public, very painful split. The Senegalese people, who had placed so much hope in this new leadership, are watching closely, some with disappointment, others with worry. After all, the Sonko-Faye partnership was more than just political, it was symbolic. It represented a rare moment of revolutionary unity in a country long plagued by elite power struggles and political stagnation. This friction within the highest echelons of power is already having a ripple effect. The Pastef party, which once prided itself on discipline and unity, is showing signs of strain. Internally, the pressure is mounting. Activists and organizers who once shouted in unison are now whispering in factions. Some are calling for calm and mediation, while others want Sonko to assert more control or even consider breaking away. In a nation where public perception can shift rapidly and where youth movements wield tremendous influence, such divisions can be perilous. The last thing Senegal needs is a repeat of the chaos that engulfed its streets during the elections, when protests, arrests, and shutdowns paralyzed the country. Yet, beneath all the political tension, there's something even deeper at play, a clash of visions. Bassirou Diomaye Faye, once known as Sonko's ideological twin, seems now to be charting a more measured, pragmatic course. He wants to reassure foreign investors, re-establish calm, and work within the system to gradually implement reforms. Sonko, on the other hand, is still the firebrand, demanding rapid transformation, unfiltered accountability, and an uncompromising stand against what he sees as the remnants of colonial and corporate control. The split isn't just about personality, it's about strategy, pace, and power. Who leads the revolution, and how fast should that revolution move? In the middle of this brewing political drama, it's important to remember how much is at stake. Senegal is at a crossroads. With a fragile economy, rising youth unemployment, and mounting international interest in its resources and geostrategic position, the leadership must present a united and clear front. Any hint of division, especially at the top, risks weakening not just their credibility, but also the entire reform agenda. To the Senegalese people, many of whom voted for this new leadership out of desperation and hope, this is more than just a squabble. It's a test of whether real change is possible, or whether even the most promising new leaders will fall into the same cycle of internal conflict and betrayal that has plagued so many post-colonial African governments. And yet, in the midst of all this, there remains a sliver of hope. The fact that the disagreement is happening out in the open, with speeches, media interviews, and public commentary, speaks to a new era of political transparency. It's messy, yes, but it's also real. This is not the shadowy backroom politics of old. This is the politics of a younger, more assertive generation that isn't afraid to argue, challenge, and redefine power in full view of the public. To the youth of Senegal and the wider Pan-African community watching closely, the question now is not just whether Faye and Sonko will reconcile, but what kind of political maturity will emerge from this conflict. Will they find a way to reforge their alliance, rooted in honesty and mutual respect? Or will ego, ambition, and political calculation tear apart what could have been the most powerful reformist duo in Senegalese history? Thank you to all our viewers and subscribers who continue to support Voice of Africa. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Your engagement helps us keep telling bold, independent African stories that the mainstream won't show. Please click the like button so that YouTube shares this story with more people across our continent and the diaspora. Also, consider supporting us through Super Thanks. It goes a long way in helping us grow this channel and continue our mission. As the days go by, all eyes remain on Dakar. Will this political partnership survive the storm, or are we witnessing the beginning of a new chapter, one of rivalry and realignment? The people of Senegal, and indeed the entire African continent, deserve clarity. They deserve unity in purpose, even when there is difference in method, because the stakes are too high and the dreams too precious to be lost in the fires of internal division.